Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of The Father, the Son, and the Podcast. My name is Ian. I am the Son.
My name is Paul, and I am the Father.
And this is our podcast. In this episode, we talk about why there wasn't an episode last week.
Yep, we talk a little bit about some of the Netflix Marvel series. Kind of stack rank them a little bit.
We talk about The Incredibles 2 as well.
That's
we
right.
talked about it last week when
Right.
The episode got messed up.
First episode of Luke Cage, season 2.
Yep.
Yep.
We also are putting the My Hero Academia segment at the tail end of the podcast, after this outro, after everything, because some people either A, aren't interested, or B, don't want spoilers, so it's a lot easier for them to just stop the episode early for them to skip over the segment. So that's how we're doing that from now on. So,
and I gave a
movie
recommendation, not a review. I didn't really review it, but it's a movie recommendation and a television series recommendation,
and then another
bonus movie recommendation.
Yeah.
It's a big episode, man.
So, if any of that sounds interesting to you, then keep on listening. Stay tuned. Pops, I messed up last week.
Yes, you did.
I don't know if you knew about this.
So we had what I thought was an excellent episode.
It was a pretty good episode.
And we worked on the radio voice.
We did.
And we had some good dialogue, some good laughs. And then,
talked about My Hero. Talked about Incredibles 2. And then we found out later that I had accidentally turned my mic off very early in the recording.
So we had to scrap the entire episode.
The whole episode, because it was just...
There was so ridiculous.
No reasonable way for me to save that. Yeah, that's my bad. I'm going to take the blame on that one. That's a big oopsie on my part. But hey, we're back. Sorry for the lack of episode last week. But hey, we're good. We're back. Welcome back, Dad.
Well, I thank you. It's a pleasure to be back.
Yeah. What do we do? What are we going to talk? What are we talking about this week?
Well, I think we can do a quick recap of the botched episode last week.
Yeah, we can do that.
And maybe just do like a quick overview of Incredibles 2, and then we got to talk about the episode of Luke Cage we just watched.
I think
season 2.
I think you are correct in most of that. But I think we should also talk about the other Marvel Netflix shows, because I kind of want to talk about them a little bit.
I think that's a whole episode in itself. We've reviewed all the Marvel Universe cinematic movies. Why not just take a look at all the Marvel television series that's out there?
You want to just
Jessica
do that?
Jones,
you want to just
Iron
do that
Fist,
right now?
Defenders.
Because we've only watched the first episode of this season 2 of Luke Cage, so I don't know if there's that much to talk about. So we can add in all of the other Netflix shows.
We could.
And do a definitive ranking of them all.
Well, that's tough.
No,
that's tough to do.
Here's the thing.
Especially since I wasn't prepared.
Here's the thing, Pops. Who cares? It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
When I say
whatever you want to do, let's talk about.
When I say definitive ranking, it's a joke because people will disagree.
Maybe we'll just rank them and then we'll discuss them maybe next episode.
I heard the oven beep. Is that
it's probably
relevant?
Just preheated.
Okay. Just want to make sure nothing was burning.
It's lukewarm, like this conversation.
Shut up. God damn it. Son of a gun. I'm done. End the episode. I'm turning my mic off now.
Yeah, why not?
So, let's talk about The Incredibles 2 quickly. We saw it last week. We saw it 2 weeks ago. We talked about it last week. And then I had to delete the episode because of me messing up. So, Pops, what did you think of Incredibles 2?
I thought it was, without using the word incredible.
Without using the words incredible or super to describe it. Those words are banned.
It was entertaining.
It was, yeah. It was really fun. I feel it was really similar to the first one.
Yeah, I liked all the characters.
It felt very samey.
Yeah, so if you're very similar to the first one, maybe a little bit more expanded roles for like Frozone.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Right?
I mean, plot wise, it's very similar to the first one.
Yeah. They just they
superheroes are illegal. Hey, we got something that you can still be super. We got a way for you to still be super, but only one of you, not the other, not any of the kids, just one of you.
So the whole dynamic of the mother going to work, the father staying home, taking care of the kids, which is like used to be like not accepted back in the day, and is now becoming more commonplace. So.
Yeah,
right. And then this in this particular case, the father staying home is a superhero, and he's struggling with staying home, and then realizing that it is not easy to stay home with the kids,
never mind,
and raise them. He'd rather go to work. So. Credit to all the moms that are stay-home moms for sure that it is not an easy job.
But also not only having to take care of kids, but take care of kids with superpowers, and one of those kids has all the superpowers.
So let's go right into that. Jack
best part of
is
the movie.
The best character in the movie.
I think the best scene in the movie was when he fought the raccoon.
That was
so
hysterical.
Fun. It was so funny and so
just the way he did it.
The setup. We talked about this last week, but the setup for that scene was great because Jack's watching TV. You've got the robber. He's got the mask on. He looks over the raccoon who looks like he has a mask on, and then Jack's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get him.
Right.
I'm gonna fight this raccoon."
And then he uses all. Then he's like starting to basically find all his powers, like phasing through the glass.
Yeah.
And then using his eye beams
he's
and
got rubber,
turning into a monster.
Turning to rubber. Yeah, it was great. And then everything with Jack is so good because he teleports away, and then Mr. Incredible's like, "I got a cookie for you,"
for him to reappear.
And then he gives him a cookie, and then Frozen's like, "Oh, so it's all good now?" And Mr. Incredible's like, "You'd think that because I can't just keep giving him cookies." It's great. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I said, fun movie.
Very fun. Very good.
Very family friendly.
The villain wasn't as good as the first one.
No, not at all.
And
who was that? Sinestro?
Sinestro?
I don't know. Who was that?
Syndrome.
Sinestro
is the Yellow Lantern.
Oh, that's right.
So you have Syndrome in the first one, who was a great villain, and the argument can be made that, this is a kid's movie. The villain doesn't have to be good. No, the villain doesn't have to be good. But looking back at the first Incredibles, with an amazing villain, like, it's not impossible to have a good villain for a kid's movie. It's happened on multiple occasions.
Right.
That was the biggest flaw of this movie, is the villain was kind of, I like the idea of the screen slaver, though. I just don't like where that ended up going. I don't want to spoil it, but I don't like where that ended up going. But I like all the new supers that showed up. I like the scene where Frozone stops by to check on the kids, and then there's this big fight scene between all the different supers, and then you have a similar fight scene on the boat. I really enjoyed watching all these new superpowers being used in the universe. Dad's texting. That's why I was trying to stall.
Well, I'm actually texting your sister to be quiet.
Yeah, tell her to shut the frick up.
Okay, go ahead.
What'd you think about the other supers in the movie?
Oh, they were great. They were. I liked them all. I mean, especially you saw the abilities of Elastic Girl, and especially when she was riding that bike.
Oh yeah,
that was
we had talked about
little
that
scene.
Last week too, where it was really you think it's just being able to stretch is a pretty boring power, but then she's doing that cool thing while riding the bike. She's swinging through the town like Spider-Man, using
with her
arms,
and then just being able to go through the tunnel and split the bike itself had the ability to split. So they split the bike and have the wheels on the side. It was all pretty cool. Very well done, very entertaining.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend it.
Yeah, really. And this one feels like they're setting up for a sequel immediately. Like it feels like in 3 years we're getting an Incredibles.
Yeah, we won't have to wait another 14.
Yeah. Do you think it was worth the 14-year wait?
No,
I don't think so either.
Not really.
I think it was nice.
I mean, it was great. It was entertaining, and there was so many other movies in between that you really didn't miss it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
So it was nice that it came out.
Although I do think Incredibles is among one of the best Pixar films.
Yeah.
What else would be up there with Incredibles?
Toy Story.
Yeah, Toy Story. Yeah, absolutely. But
Toy Story is the best.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying Incredibles is the best. I'm just saying what are other ones that are so good? I think Ratatouille is amazing.
Yeah, Ratatouille was good. Pixar does a very good job.
Yeah, but then you got Cars too, and you've got Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are some duds, and there are some that are good, but they're not great. Like, for example, I don't think Finding Dory was great, but I think it was good. I think Finding Nemo was great.
Right.
I don't think... what was the... I don't think... Oh, man, I can't even
Was Up
remember.
Pixar?
Up was Pixar. I really like Up.
Up
was another good one that was like borderline good and great.
Yeah.
I think that one was really good. What? I can't...
There's another episode, man, going through all the Pixar movies
honestly.
right there. So
yeah. So that was Incredibles 2. Now we should talk about the Marvel Netflix shows. Just like briefly, we'll talk about all the other ones. So start off Daredevil season 1,
right.
First Marvel Netflix show. A lot of hype. What did you think?
Oh, Daredevil was awesome.
Loved it.
Daredevil was fantastic.
Especially
season 1. It was
1.
Awesome. Season 1 was the best, I think.
Out of the two?
Yeah.
Or out of all the shows in general?
I probably will. Well, I don't know. I'm going to go with, for all the shows, I'm going to say it's pretty close race between.
Don't say which one. Just say Daredevil, yes or no. Is it like Daredevil season 1, yes or no, the best of all the Netflix Marvel shows?
The tie.
Okay. I think I know what it's tied with because I think I agree with you. But no, I love Daredevil season 1. You get the introduction to every character. I mean, all the characters in the show, I guess. There's no real... I mean, every character is a new character. But we meet Stick, who is cool as hell.
Yeah, he's very cool.
He teaches Matt Murdock how to do his stuff. We get the black costume, which looks, I think, way cooler. I mean, obviously there's no protection, but it looks way cooler than the Daredevil costume, I think.
Mm-hmm. And
then we get Matt Murdock's just everything. Charlie Cox killed it. I think Charlie Cox did such a great job.
It's a great character. Yeah.
Absolutely killed it. And then you have the fight, the kung fu in that, the fight scenes in that show were incredible.
They're some of the best, and even in movies.
So good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Like
and I like the fact that more and more of these shows are coming down to hand-to-hand combat without not just the superpower
destroying
part.
Everything without a giant smoke.
Actually, all these shows in general, what makes them great is they don't focus on the powers and the abilities. There's like actual storylines behind them.
Yeah, they focus,
and then it's very little like superhero stuff.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
I do, but at the same time, I do like it when they get really superhero. Like when you have the show mostly is not very superhero-esque,
right.
but you do have these moments that feel very superhero.
Right.
And I love them.
Yeah, they don't focus on it. There's more to the show than just the superhero.
It's like a special.
Them being
moment.
A superhero.
It's all that much better when you have to wait for it.
Yeah.
And what was that? Oh, the ending of episode 2 of season 1 of Daredevil, where you have that fight scene in the hallway. Amazing.
Yes. So, Daredevil is... You know what? I actually am going to go on the limb right now and say Daredevil's number 1.
Season 1 is number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just because of the stuff we just discussed. Now that I think back and now that I'm reviewing a lot of the episodes in my head, I liked it better.
I think it's number 2 for me.
Season number 2?
No, sorry. Season 1 is number 2 for me.
Oh, all right.
Overall. Next is Jessica Jones, season 1.
Absolutely.
Loved it.
Yeah.
So
that
good.
was the tie, obviously,
Everything,
right?
yeah, that's number 1 for me is Jessica Jones season 1. Absolutely loved it. Everything about that show I adored.
Yep.
You've got Jessica Jones, who is this
great character,
the reluctant
really
hero.
Yeah.
You've got her friend Malcolm, who was a drug addict and then recovered, and now is just doing her best to help her.
Mm-hmm.
You've got what's her? Oh, damn, it was Trish. You've got Trish.
Yep.
You've got the guy who I forget his name, Patrick, I think, the one who was like on the drugs and like freaking out and stuff, and he was.
Oh, the one that was like in the first in season 1.
Yeah. And then you've got Kilgrave.
Yeah, that's hot. That's a great character.
Oh my!
Kilgrave.
You have this villain who is undoubtedly the worst human being, just the absolute worst person possible. But then there's a moment in one of the episodes where you felt bad for him. You're like, God damn it, Kilgrave, I'm sorry. And then you're like, wait a minute, no, you're a terrible.
He's a terrible person.
It was so good. Everything about Jessica Jones season 1 is my favorite.
Yep.
Period.
So
good.
So it's my number 2.
What was next? Luke Cage season 1.
Luke Cage season 1.
Daredevil season 2.
I still like Luke Cage season 1.
I think Daredevil season 2 is next, is what I'm saying.
As far as like stack rankings?
Chronologically.
We're with stack ranking. So
I know, but we go chronologically, and then we put them in their place as we're going.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Got it?
Got it.
So I think Daredevil Season 2 is next.
Yes.
What did you think of Daredevil Season 2?
Oh, I picked up where the first one left
off.
Great. Yeah, it was great. It was
so good.
It was so good. It was consistent with the first season, and then the final like battle scene was ridiculous, right?
Oh,
yeah, the whole building fell on him basically.
No, that was Defenders.
Oh, that was Defenders. See, I can't. Sometimes I mix them all up.
It gets confusing. I feel you on that. What is happening? I just updated my phone, and there's all this new stuff that's happening. I was trying to look up the order that these came out. Hold on.
We'll just make up our own order, and they'll correct it later.
Netflix shows order. No, I got it. On DVD, not what I meant. Okay, here we go. Yes, I was right. Daredevil Season 2 is next. Very good. We got more of Stick. That moment where Stick just cuts his own hand off?
Yeah.
He could have probably easily broken out of that, but he's just like, nah, screw it, and just cuts his hand off. Or was that Defenders 2?
That might have been Defenders 2.
Anyways, that was badass. I love Stick. Yeah. He's so cool.
Stick
One of the coolest characters.
I think that's John Glenn, right?
I don't know, but you're probably right. I've come to learn
the
that
right stuff.
Probably.
Tie it in. Got my movie review.
Okay.
My movie recommendation based on the fact that guy was in it.
Okay. We also get Punisher in Daredevil Season 2.
Yes. Yeah, another great character.
So, really, really good.
Yeah, they did that very well.
Oh, yeah. Especially in Daredevil itself. Electro was cool. I think the introduction of Electro was really, really dope. What else do we have in Season 2 of Daredevil? Anything?
No.
Oh, wait a minute.
I guess we do.
Never mind.
We don't.
Never mind. Sorry. Next is Luke Cage Season 1.
Yeah, again, well done. Liked it. Enjoyed it.
I agree with you up until episode 7. I loved the first half of Luke Cage, but then they killed off Cottonmouth, and I was like, screw this.
Yeah, because after they killed him off too early.
After that, whoever the villain was, it was Diamondback. He just wasn't nearly as interesting
as Cottonmouth
was. I loved Cottonmouth as a villain. I thought it was so good how it was almost like a Lex Luthor to Superman. This guy who didn't have any powers, but like, I'm going to take this guy down.
Right.
He was just like at the top of his game. So Luke Cage was good. Overall, Luke Cage was good. I like the fight scenes, how he just busted through everything. The final fight, I don't think was very interesting.
No. With Diamondback?
Yeah.
No. It was kind of weekendy.
But I do love the episode where we see him in prison the whole time.
Right.
Where he has the underground fights and is just messing people up with the afro and really cool. Really like it. Oh, Jessica Jones Season 1. That's where we met Luke Cage.
Yes.
And that's where Luke Cage had his best fight scene, was in Jessica Jones. The best Luke Cage fight scene was in Jessica Jones when he fought Jessica.
Oh, right.
When he was under Kilgrave's control.
Right.
Yeah, that was the best fight scene for Luke Cage.
Yeah, those are two very interesting characters. I think in the comics they end up getting married, right? Yeah.
And have a kid, yeah. Next, Iron Fist Season 1.
Probably the weakest.
So sorry, Pops. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm queasy.
So
my stomach's weak.
When I made that sound, I had to stick my tongue out, of course, and I have my tongue pierced, and Dad is so... I don't know why he gets so uneasy about it. I've seen him watch very gruesome things, but that is the one thing, and I just...
It is what it is, man.
I'm so sorry.
I can't even look at you now.
Hold on, wait, I'll do it again. I'll cover my mouth and do it again.
And it's not even that I know you have it. I don't care that you have it, but I just can't. It just drives me nuts.
I get you, man.
It's just...
I'm sorry. I've stopped doing that as much. Oh, goodness gracious. I am so sorry.
Someday you'll take it out.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, probably it will. But for right now, I'm killing it. Iron Fist Season 1, lame as hell. Didn't like it. There was better kung fu fight scenes in Daredevil than there was in a show where a guy is kung fu. His whole thing is that
he was raised.
Yeah.
So it was just I thought it's the weakest of them all,
without a question.
Right. And the second weakest is probably Defenders.
And I agree with you. And then you have he has the Iron Fist, right? Which the way he got the Iron Fist was by sticking his fist in the molten heart of a dragon. How is that not the only thing you think about always?
Right.
If I had to shove my fist into a dragon's chest, I would never stop thinking about that.
Right. So how do you struggle to bring it? Like, you mean to generate it all the time?
No, I just mean like, yes, that's another thing. But I just mean in general, like we never saw the dragon in the show. I would never stop thinking about the fact when I shove my fist into a dragon's molten heart.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing about that show is he had the Iron Fist, but he never used it because he couldn't. He's like, oh, my cheese off balance. This Iron Fist is starting to feel not real, buddy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it had the makings of a good storyline, like the whole thing. Daniel Rand coming back.
Yeah.
And it just...
You mean Iron Fist story?
Yeah, it's just never... It never developed.
It didn't... Yeah, nothing happened.
It wasn't...
Danny was just complaining the whole time, just whining always.
I watched it hoping that it would pick up. And
yeah,
it
never did.
It never did. So I don't recommend
I do
that
like
one.
the villains of that season, though, of that show.
All the supporting characters are cool. Even Colleen Wayne's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Iron Fist was the weakest part of that show.
Right.
No memorable fight scenes.
No.
And on a show that should be all about hand-to-hand combat, there's no memorable moments where that happens. Yeah, whatever. Next is
Defenders.
Punisher or Defenders?
I think it's Defenders. Look on your list.
I think you are right.
Look on your cheat list.
My cheat list. You couldn't even name them off the top of your head.
I think I just did. I think the next one's Defenders.
Nope. Maybe it is. Hold on.
Is it Punisher?
You take it. Oh, here we go. Okay. You are right. Defenders is next.
Thank you.
Defenders was fine.
It was okay.
It was good.
It wasn't good.
It was enjoyable. It was fine.
Okay.
It was fine.
Let's move on.
You don't need, because of Defenders, you don't need to. I think the cinematography in Defenders was abysmal.
It wasn't
so
good.
Bad.
It was a letdown.
Every shot in that show was like through a fence.
Yeah, it was awful. It was just
not.
It almost was rushed, just thrown together, put out there.
See, here's the thing.
So I don't think that
you say it was rushed, but I think that having 13 episodes or 12 episodes for all the other shows is too much time. Like, you can cut that down. There are some episodes that they can be cut down so much.
Right.
So I think 8 episodes is good and perfect. And
yeah,
exactly
but 13's
kind
of like the standard for Netflix shows.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And I think the show that they gave 8 episodes to was the wrong show to give it 8 episodes to, because it's an ensemble cast. Like, give 8 episodes to the standalone shows. Give 13 episodes to Defenders, the one where you have all of them. You don't need to watch Iron Fist when you watch Defenders, because they explain everything that happens in Iron Fist.
Right. Right. So, but that was, again, it didn't live up to the expectations for it.
No, you're right, it didn't. And I wish it did. It was fun, although the interactions between the characters that I'd never met before was very fun.
Yeah.
Like how Jessica was just, like, you're blind how to even fight. And then Danny saying something about the Iron Fist and Jessica just being shut the hell up.
Right.
And then when Luke and Danny first meet, and Danny goes to punch Luke, and it's like a mirroring that shot from Luke Cage, but then he just knocks Luke down.
Yeah.
That was real fun.
Yeah.
Overall, Defenders wasn't great, but there were some fun moments in it.
There were.
Next is Punisher.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it?
Nope.
What?
I know. I just got sidetracked and I probably got distracted by another show on
let me tell you.
Amazon Prime or whatever.
Let me tell you what happens in Punisher. I won't tell you what happens, but I'll tell you what happens, okay? So, Punisher. Okay, it's 12 episodes long? Something like that. You expect balls-to-the-wall action throughout it, right?
Yes.
Not what happens at all. At all. Until the end, dude. Okay, so I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna mess somebody up every episode. This is gonna be great. That doesn't happen. I'm like, and I'm watching because the story is good. Like, it's a really good story, and I want to see what happens, but I'm also waiting for, like, when he's going to mess somebody up.
Right.
And my God, does he mess somebody up, dude. Like, it was borderline boring, only because I was expecting something to happen, but nothing was happening. But then you get to episode 11 or 12, and it paid off. It paid off times 12, dude. Like,
so I should just watch the last episode then.
No, because you want to know everything that happened before that, or else it's like 2 full episodes of just fighting is what you get to. It's just like a slow burn. It is a slow drama.
Build, you mean?
No, burn. I mean burn. A slow burn. Like it's nothing is happening. Like it's there. There's something to it.
Yeah. So you're slowly building up to it.
Yeah. No, but it's not a build up because it goes from 0 to 100.
Right.
It's a slow burn. It's like you light the candle. It's like you light the candle. And it's going. The candle's melting. It's going down. Then all of a sudden, the candle is just completely liquid. Is what happens.
Right.
It's not a slow build because you can feel it building. Like you can see. But this is just like it's mellow. There's drama. Nothing's happened. And then boom! Like almost like falling out of the best action in the universe. It's amazing. It's so... Watch Punisher. Just get through Punisher.
Okay. Right after I finish Goliath.
Okay. That's fair. Next is Jessica Jones Season 2. Now, we talked about how much we loved Season 1. What did you think of Season 2?
Did I watch Season 2?
Yep. We watched the...
I'm just kidding.
We watched like 3 episodes. I watched 3 episodes of Season 2. Did you finish
I don't know
Season
if I
2?
got through the whole...
I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. I think that's why I tailed off. I'm like, this isn't even close to the first season, so I'm not going to watch the rest of this.
It's gotten to the point now.
No, I did watch it. Isn't this where Trish gets hyped up and she gets like hooked on the drug?
I don't know, man. I like I said, I watched 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And then her mom's in it? Jessica's mom?
Yep, I did watch it.
Okay, that's all I know.
See, sometimes we watch them back to back, and I forget that they're.
How was Season 2 of Jessica Jones?
It was okay. It did not live up to the first season.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
I don't. But it was still good. It was still better than Iron Fist and freaking Defenders.
Yeah.
So, but
so far our ranking.
It's top 5.
So far, I think our ranking,
especially since I haven't seen Punisher. But I'm going to go on your. Review of Punisher and stack that above Defenders and
I think it was
Iron Fist.
I think it was better than Luke Cage only because of the thing that happened in Luke Cage that I talked about earlier. Okay, so here's the stacking so far. We got Daredevil Season 1 / Jessica Jones Season 1, Daredevil Season 2, then I think Punisher, Luke Cage. Where would you put Jessica Jones? Better than Iron Fist, definitely? Would you say?
Definitely better than Iron Fist
and Defenders?
Yeah.
Okay, so then Jessica Jones Season 2. And then
Punisher.
Sorry. No, Punisher was above Jessica Jones Season 2.
For you?
This is... I haven't seen Season 2 of Jessica Jones, but it was such a letdown.
Yeah.
For me. And then the other 2, yeah. Like, dude, I was so more excited than any other of these seasons. More so than Defenders. Like, I was more so than Punisher. I was so excited for Jessica Jones Season 2 because Jessica Jones was a character I didn't know about. I didn't know Jessica Jones existed before this. All the other ones I did. Right. So when I saw Jessica Jones, a character that I knew nothing about, I had no attachment to whatsoever, and it being my favorite, like, superhero TV show, Marvel, my favorite Marvel thing.
Yeah.
I was so excited for Season 2, and I was so let down.
Yep.
It's whatever. And then
Luke Cage
Season 2.
Season 2.
We watched the first episode. Oh, real quick. It's gotten to the point now with TV shows, especially superhero TV shows. If I'm not into it, I'm not watching it. I used to power through
them all. I'm the same way. If it doesn't hold my interest, I'm done.
Like, I love The Flash. I loved I loved watching The Flash. It was so much fun, but there's so much fluff in it because they have to fill 24 episodes. I think take a page out of the Teen Wolf book, and the first half of the season have one story, and the second half have another story. Get rid of all the fat. Trim all the fat. Get rid of it.
Right, yeah.
Same thing with Arrow. I loved the first 2 seasons of Arrow, and then 3 and 4 were blah, and then 5 was fine, I guess. I loved Legends of Tomorrow. It was so fun that I fell out of that. Supergirl was good too. Season 2 I watched. Black Lightning, I watched the first episode, and I can't do it, man. If I'm not into it, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, I agree. There's too much other content on TV, man. You can't.
I know.
It's all fighting for your time, so you can't watch everything.
I know, and I wish I could.
And
but it's just
you have to start stack ranking them themselves. So like nothing right now supersedes me watching Goliath.
Yeah.
So we just powered through season 2 and watched 5 episodes.
How many episodes are there? 8?
There's 8. I watched 3 over the course of 3 days, and then I watched 5 on a Saturday morning.
Just like with
it was raining out.
Just like The Walking Dead, I tried watching it because everybody I knew loved it, and I was into it too. I was really into it, and then I started getting bored with it. But everybody I knew talked about it still, so I was like, I guess I'll keep watching. But then it just got to the point where I was like, I don't want to anymore.
But Goliath,
best
show on television.
I watched the first episode and I was into it, but
you got to watch it all. It just talk about like every episode hooks you in even further where you can't wait. Like you might really, I know you might actually watch all 8 episodes in a day.
Maybe. I'm not doing much tomorrow.
So like your Aunt Trina,
I know.
I told her about it and I said, hey, it's like the best show on television. You got to watch it. She sat down at noontime and watched and finished at 9:00 at night. Watched the whole season.
Yeah.
It was incredible. So now season 2 is out. So it's pretty good. But anyway, go ahead. Let's get into Luke Cage.
Yeah, Luke Cage. What'd you think of this first episode?
I liked it. It's setting the whole season up. It's starting to build characters, who's going to be the players in here. You kind of see some interesting things have been introduced to this that we can get into about just about him. Even the reference to him as Power Man.
Yeah, which that happened in season 1.
Yeah, but now it's like a nickname. It's not really like.
I love Misty Knight.
Misty Knight,
such a cool character.
So she hasn't shown anything other than she was a cop and she was able to. She was a very good cop in solving stuff, and now she lost her arm, so you have to think that it's going to turn into that by but does that mean like Tony Stark's going to show up? Well, no, he's the one that made it.
In Defenders, Danny Rand was like my company. He's like, I have a lot of money, I can hook you up.
Right.
They had alluded to that in Defenders.
Right.
So it will probably be a Rand
Industries as opposed to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'd like to see Tony Stark.
Dude, I would love to see these two. It's the same universe, but these two, I guess, pocket universes cross over.
No, it's business, right? So it's like television. So.
I know, but how cool would it have been to so originally, before I saw Infinity War and I knew what happened, I thought there was going to be another fight in like New York City.
Yeah.
Another big old fight in New York City with a bunch of aliens. How cool would it have been to just for a split second see the Defenders messing up some aliens? Like, literally 20 seconds. That's all you needed.
Yeah. Just jumping in.
Watch Daredevil hit a few people. You see, like, Iron Fist run up, punch somebody. Yeah. Like, Luke Cage maybe throws Jessica.
It was all in New York,
all you needed. I mean, it wouldn't have made sense in the movie because they were fighting in Wakanda. But that's what I'm saying. How cool would it have been for just a split second see those guys?
Right. So now back to Luke Cage. He's out. He's back in Harlem.
Yep.
There was always that fear that there was something that could hurt him, which was the Judas bullet.
And now we know.
But now we know something happened. We haven't really disclosed why it doesn't hurt him anymore.
Wait a minute. Do you think it could have been? So remember the last season when they had to get the Judas bullet out of him?
Yeah.
They put him in like acid to weaken his skin.
Right.
What if that like made his skin stronger?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Because now he knows that the Judas bullet can't hurt him. And that was like really the only thing that could hurt him.
See, this is why,
other than the Iron Fist.
This is why I don't. Okay, I like binging things, but this is why I love not binging them.
Right.
Because you have time to think about it and time to like digest what's happening and get to know the whole situation as opposed to just immediately getting all the answers.
So I think it's starting off as it's a promising start to season 2 for Luke Cage.
I disagree completely. I'm so not interested.
Really?
About anything that's happening.
No.
I love Misty Knight. But I don't care to see her try and get all of all the people who got out back. I love.
We'll see.
I love Claire. I think she's amazing. Rosario Dawson's incredible.
Right.
I love Mike Coulter as Luke Cage.
Right.
And I love the way Luke Cage is portrayed. Like in this episode, there's a part where he gets blown up and he just walks out on fire, and then just There's a really funny part where the guy pulls a gun on him and he just taps him on the head and the guy gets knocked out.
Right.
It was. I'm really into all of that, but for just the fact that Cottonmouth isn't in it, and I can't stand Mariah. I hate Mariah.
Oh, Alfred Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand her.
All right.
I think I'll watch.
We'll see how it goes.
I think what I will do with these Netflix shows, I'll give it a 3 episodes, and if I'm not into it by then I'm not gonna watch it.
Right. So we'll watch
2 more.
2 more. Are you gonna just go off on your own? Because what we usually do
Yeah.
is we watch the first episode together, and then because we're so busy, we just kind of watch the rest when we can.
Yeah.
So we'll do that same thing here.
And we'll touch it next week.
It just has to be done by next Wednesday.
Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah. If we finish it.
Yeah. And we can call it quits at any time.
Yeah.
Too. Like, be like, that's it. I'm not watching that episode. Yeah. We'll review it, and that'll be the end of it.
I think that is it for the meat of the podcast.
Yeah. So
you just got to do your movie review.
Yeah.
Even though you spoiled it earlier.
I did. So I'm going to have... I get 2 reviews, actually.
2 reviews.
So I am going to... I've already kind of said it.
Kind of said it?
Recommended. I have 2 recommendations, not reviews. They're recommendations.
I know, but we give a brief review on each one, or on the ones you recommend.
The one, because Stick is played by John Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
John Glenn was in one of my top movies of all time. Really,
yeah.
It's one of the top movies of all time. It's called The Right Stuff.
Yep. What's it about? And
it is about the.
Is he the main character in that, or is he?
No, he's one of the main astronauts, though.
Okay.
So it's the first. It's Apollo. No, about the Apollo missions to go to the moon.
I am so into this right now.
Yeah, it's actually so is how Tom Hanks made his back in the day. This precedes that,
right?
And it had a bunch of great actors in it, and the way they did it, like not Randy Quaid, but his brother was in it, and Dennis Quaid, John Glenn.
How is Randy the Quaid that you thought of?
I don't know, man. So yeah, Dennis Quaid. John Glenn. It was directed by Ron Howard. So
nice.
Yeah, it is, and it's well done.
He did a movie recently that
it's called The Right Stuff. So
nice. What's the other one you got?
So the other one is it was a tie-in, being that we were reviewing a television series and TV shows today.
Yes.
I am going to say that I'm going to make a recommendation that I think everyone should watch. It's on Amazon Prime if you have it. And it's called Goliath.
Okay.
And it's Billy Bob Thornton.
I watched episode 1, and I was really into it.
It's probably the best TV show I've seen in a very long time.
If you think that Jessica Jones is a big ol' I don't give a damn character, then Billy Bob Thornton's character in Goliath blows her out of the water.
It is fantastic. So the final... and then I'm going to give you a bonus movie recommendation today. Because we talked about Goliath and Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you need to see Sling Blade.
That sounds familiar.
It's Billy Bob Thornton. Heath Ledger's in it. Unbelievable. His character in that is fantastic. You will come out constantly going, I need some sweet potato. So he plays like this kind of... mentally challenged individual that killed his parents with a machete.
Jeez.
So, but he,
like
he's really
Voorhees,
reformed,
really.
and he's it's pretty damn good, man. You'll love it. You'll be like, oh my god, what a character! It was actually the movie that made me realize just how talented Billy Bob Thornton is.
Okay.
So
cool.
All right, bonus track.
Nice. So I think that's it for the episode. As was said in the beginning intro, we are doing the My Hero segment at the very end, so that if people aren't interested or they don't want spoilers, let me try that again. If they are not interested or they don't want spoilers, then it won't be spoiled. So thank you everybody for listening. We are on YouTube. We are on Podbean. We are on Google Play. I don't know if we are on Spotify yet. We are on Apple. We are on iTunes. Check us out on all of those things. Thank you again, everybody, for listening. If you leave a 5-star rating on iTunes, we'll read it on the podcast. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of The Father, the Son, and the Podcast. My name is Ian. I am the son.
My name is Paul, and I am the father.
And this has been our podcast.
I keep my ideals when it's lit.
My Hero Academia. Dude.
Let's get on it.
Yeah, let's get on it.
So we just watched another episode of My Hero
Well, we
Academia.
didn't just watch it. We watched it last week.
You watched it like 2 weeks ago.
Also, the episodes will be coming out 2 weeks after they air in Japan for us because we watched it on Funimation and all that jazz. So it doesn't matter all that much. We're still going to talk about it because it's great and I love it.
So let's
Probably my favorite
why don't you
TV
give
show
a quick
currently.
recap of what happened in this episode, and then we can talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I don't remember.
Why don't you give a quick recap of
quick
what
one,
happened in this last episode,
Okay.
and then we can talk about it a little
Okay,
bit.
here we go. Ready? Okay, now we're going to slow that down. Rewind it. Slow it down.
Rub it down.
Play it back, flip it, and reverse it. Okay, so we see All for One. We met All for One. The heroes crash into the base.
Oh,
Legion of Heroes
you don't
base.
have to recap it. I know what this is now.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the
he
heroes
actually
bust
fought
in.
All for
Wait.
One, bought One for
So
All.
the heroes bust in.
Yeah.
They're like, we got Bakugo. He's back. We got him. It's all good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these weird portals start opening up, and Nomus start
Yeah,
coming
yeah,
out
yeah, yeah.
everywhere. And then the kids see All for One, but they can't do anything because they can't take him on. Bakugo shows up, and they're talking. So then All Might shows up, and he's fighting All for One, but he's not going at his full strength
He can't because of the collateral damage.
because of the collateral damage.
And then and he's taking the big blast with that little girl's like, oh, don't
Yeah.
give up, but now he's got to protect her.
well, no, even before that.
Yeah.
Even
And
before that.
So he has to hold back because
So
if the two of them go at full strength, then it just is going to be so much collateral damage. So they have to wait for everybody to get out.
First, you've got All Might fighting All for One,
Mm-hmm.
but then you also have Bakugo fighting off all the members of the
Right.
the League of Villains,
Right.
which is cool. We got to see what Magnus power is.
Right.
He can make people have magnetic poles,
Right.
and then the kids Izuku is like, all right, I got a plan, but it's insane. They get Bakugo out. They save Bakugo. And you have a really, really cool, heartwarming, wholesome moment where Deku tells the hardening kid, I can never remember his name. It's like it begins with a K, I think. Tells him, you have built a friendship with Bakugo. If you were the one to tell him,
He might listen.
Let's go. No, not he might listen. Like he will listen to you.
Right.
So that happens. Everything goes according to plan because, of course, it does. And then free. Everybody's out. And you know what that means? All Might goes all out, baby.
Royal Rumble.
And that's not a Royal Rumble.
I know. I'm just throwing something in.
First,
Battle Royale.
All for One makes somebody use his quirk. Forces the guy to use his quirk.
Right.
Which we didn't know he could do. And he pushes everybody through the portal, and hand on the face guy, again, I can't remember his name. Oh, wait.
Tech. Isn't it like
Tech. I don't know. I don't remember.
Totoro? Takakami?
It's something Kami, I think. I don't remember.
Todoroki?
No, Todoroki is
whatever. It doesn't really matter.
not all that much. So he gets him out. He's like, no, you need to go. You will have your chance. Leave.
Right.
And then All Might goes all out. And my goodness, that was an incredible fight.
Yeah, it was best fight. One of the best fight scenes.
I think best episode, period.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No.
Anything
some of the
you say.
episodes that they had when they... Well, you know what? Now that I think of it, you're right.
Because it is so easy to have an overpowered character like All Might be so boring.
Right.
It is so easy to make him just...
So when they make him take a beating, and then the coolest thing is when you think he's beat, you think he's done, his power's gone.
First off, don't get to that. You always jump ahead, man.
I always, because I get so excited.
I know. I
so
feel
excited.
You, but I just want to build up to it, you know? So we have All for One, who is the ultimate villain. He can take anybody's quirk. He just killed the number 4 hero, Best Genius. He just killed him. We don't quite know how his power stealing works, but we know that he cannot steal All for One because All for One has to be willingly passed down. So, kills Best Genius. You see him do a really cool... You see that All for One isn't just evil. Like, he's what is it? What is the word for like being planning things out and being like not rushing in, not being hot-headed? What is the word for that?
Being cool, calm, and collected?
Yes, but what is the word? He is like he has a plan. He thinks things through.
Right, not to rush into anything. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're
because
trying to
they show that when they're like, why don't you just teleport us out? And he explains, I don't quite know how this quirk works yet. I don't want to try and use it a way it can't be used or whatever. And then he's like, spring muscles multiplier times 2. Like he's combining quirks.
Right.
Which if you have somebody who can use all the powers he wants, you would see him like use one power and then use another power and then use another power. You wouldn't see him use powers together at once in order to make
right.
And also like the fact that first off we have All Might. Everybody knows All Might. Everybody knows what All Might can do. And this guy stops All Might with his bare hands?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, what? Excuse me?
Yeah, you realize just it's his base. It's the yin and the yang, right? He is the opposite of All Might.
100%.
Or he's the equal to All Might, basically.
Yes, he is 100%. And you have a moment where we thought Gran Torino was killed.
Yep.
I honest to God thought Gran Torino died.
Right.
I thought he was. I'm so glad he didn't die because I love Gran Torino. But
hey,
I thought
in the flashback too, we see he was much taller.
So
So
he's
like shrinking as he's getting weaker.
I died because not only was he taller, but he was like 3 times his height. I thought it was the funniest thing. It was hilarious to see him. Oh, also I was wrong. I thought the entire episode was going to be a flashback. It wasn't. There were a few moments that were flashbacks, but I was wrong there. And yeah, goodness gracious. So All Might. You see All Might land like a pretty big blow on All for One, but also half of his form is like gone.
Right.
He's not full All Might. He's part Small Might. Like he's like an in between.
Is that your original
stage.
name for him, Small Might?
No, that's a common thing.
Oh.
I wish I was that original, but no.
Yeah, so Small Might, yeah, he became, and then when you see him finally revealed, and he thinks that's the end of All Might because now everybody sees his true form. But then but again, they all rally behind him and say, "Hey, you got to do this. You got to." What? What are you shaking your head? No,
I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
I'm like, I know I'm shaking my head no, but it's like, dude,
it was so well done, and they all pull together, and they all just like an elf, they start singing
pretty much
Christmas songs.
Yeah,
and they revive the Christmas spirit, and here they give All Might the strength. He was but the coolest thing was
Here's before.
Can I speak?
But no, before you do the coolest thing, because I know what you're going to say. So I'll let you say your thing, and I want to say my thing because my thing won't be as cool if you say your thing first.
Give me a one-word indication you know what I'm going to talk about.
Arm?
Yep. Good.
Okay, thank you. So All Might, he's done, man. Like everybody's seen that he's small, but he keeps fighting, even when he knows this is the end. He keeps fighting.
End, yeah.
And it was just so like All Might is one of the best written characters I've ever seen.
Yeah,
as far as like
superheroes go,
yes,
and stuff, comics.
But
absolutely.
as far as a character who is just a constant beacon of hope, I have never seen a better character than All Might. Like,
yeah,
it is just. Throughout that entire fight, he's like, I'm not going to give up. And then you see him like stop for a second and you're like, oh, he just took a big hit.
Yeah, and you realize like what makes a hero isn't all his abilities. It's
dude, you knock him down 10 times, he gets up 11 times. Like, he just, no matter what, he is in it till the end.
It's his resolve.
Even when he is at the absolute end of the road, he pours down more cement and makes more road. Like, this guy is the epitome of dedication and hope and
will
and will, like 100%. It is insane.
Yep.
So pops.
Intestinal fortitude.
So pops.
Yes.
All Might's out of power now. What happens when everybody gets their Christmas spirit?
When everybody gets their Christmas spirit, he summons enough power to go into just one arm to throw a punch, which catches the guy off guard because he was
out of power.
He thought he was out of power, but then instead of just saying that's the end of it, he switched it to his other arm to counter. So then he's like, and then he switched it to his
no. So then he hits him. Right. So he goes in with his right arm. a big old punch to stop the ultimate punch because All for One had an ultimate. Like he combined the ultimate combination of quirks.
And he thought that was the end of it.
And he thought that was the end. So All Might goes in. Okay, can you imagine if All Might was at full power for this? Because with one arm of power, he stopped the ultimate punch.
Yep.
First of all.
And then he just transferred, and then he had
the
guy off guard.
Punch. His whole arm is bruised and bloodied, and it's a similar thing to when Deku was fighting off against another guy. So then he switches his arm, he goes into his left arm and throws a punch.
That catches the guy off guard.
And then he's like, and then All for One is like, oh, like that was your punch. That wasn't a good punch. And then All Might delivers this incredible line. That's because I didn't put my back into it. He flexes his right arm again. Yeah. Do you remember what he says when he punches him? He says a few things. He says, "Goodbye, All for One.
Yeah.
Goodbye, One for All."
Right.
But do you remember what he called that move?
No.
Name some of All Might's other moves?
Oh, 1 million, whatever.
No. What is he? He says smash, but before he says smash, he says like a.
You just tell me.
Okay, so we've got the Detroit Smash, we've got the Oklahoma Smash, and the best name for a finisher, the United States of Smash. Dude, it was the best.
Oh yeah.
That was the best thing in the world.
United States sounds like WWE.
I agree. But is that not the best name for a finisher?
It is. That's awesome.
Like,
good episode. Great. I can't wait to see the next one.
Creates a tornado. It creates a giant crater in the ground. So then All Might's out.
All Might's done. One for All's done.
All Might officially doesn't have One for All in him anymore. And
All for One is knocked out.
He's out cold.
Out cold.
Dude.
So.
Which we saw in like footage afterwards that All for One is still alive.
He survived the punch.
Yeah,
but he is now like they got him in a prison or they put him in some type of capsule, which left it open because all you saw him was entering the capsule.
Yes.
We don't know what the capsule. We don't know what happened after that.
Same thing with Stain. Officially, as far as we know, things are different in the manga. Like the manga has, I don't know what happened in the manga, which is what the show's based off. But as of right now, for the show, Stain is still alive. He's recovering in prison, but he's alive.
Right.
And so is All for One.
That's a great character, Stain.
I love Stain.
So.
And I want him to come back and just be so pissed.
All right, go check the food.
Okay, real quick. We're almost done. So, All Might is done. He points to the camera. Now it's your turn. Unreal.
Right.
Like
when he points to everybody. And he's in his full form.
No. He wasn't when he pointed. And then he was.
Then he was.
After he finished the blow, he goes like full form again, and everyone's cheering. And then he's now it's your turn.
He puts his fist up, and that's how it ends, right then and there.
And then Deku explains, like, for everyone, that was him saying,
you all step up, or you all.
No, that was him saying, like, villains, like, you thought I was done, but you guys are next. But Deku's like, I know what it means. It means I got to step up now.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Yeah,
that's what it means. Deku, it's your turn now to become All Might.
Oh, and we find out that the guy with the hand on his face is All Might's former
instructor's daughter.
No, son. Grandkid.
Was it grandkid?
Grandson, yeah.
Oh, it was? I thought it was the daughter.
No, it was grandkid.
I'm sorry.
Grandkid.
The son
it was grandkid.
of the girl. Yeah.
Really good. Best episode of the season.
It is. Can't wait till
What do you think? Next episode, I think it's going to be All Might just kind of like, listen, I retire. I'm out. I'm sorry.
I'm out. This is what you got to do.
This is what's up?
Yep.
I'm done.
All right.
Thanks. I think that's it.
All right.
Oh, also,
we already did the ending, right? So
yeah, but I want to. I'm gonna.
Sun's burning. I gotta go.
Here's my predictions.
What
is that? There will be a moment when Deku is trying to fight All for One, and All for One just mops the floor with him, and then the whole class comes together and fights All for One together. Because at the beginning of the training camp, all the kids, the whole class is going through the woods fighting all these mud monsters.
Right.
And it was so fun to watch all of the students work together to fight those mud monsters, which we had never seen before. So I think that's because if you have Deku beat All for One, there's no more growing for Deku. He's reached his peak.
Right.
But if you have the whole class work together, that still leaves room for all of them to grow.
Correct.
Okay. Now that's it. We're done. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Goodbye. See you next week.
All right. Gotta get the food. Bye.